Hello there, lovely good morning, and welcome to Camnet TV Breakfast Show this Thursday morning. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Joe Smarter, and of course, I'm with my colleague Chandamwango Robson. Good morning.
Good morning, Joe. How are you doing today?
I'm fantastic. Yourself?
I'm good. It's a Thursday, almost winding up with the week.
Of course, May is moving at the speed of light.
Yeah, it is. Today is the 9th of May 2024, and the weekend is almost upon us.
How do they call Thursday? Friday Junior.
Junior Friday.
Junior Friday. Okay. But we do have a lot of stories yesterday. Before we even get into the health corner, just a tip. Yesterday, obviously, there were statements flying around.
Right.
Today, in one of the broadsheets, the Zambia Daily Mail, we have a screaming headline that the Energy Regulation Board, ERB, did not know about fuel increment.
Government wasn't aware. ERB did not consult government about the electricity tariff increment.
Okay.
Quite an interesting revelation. We'll speak on it. Okay,
and also in the News Diggers, the editorial part 2. Yesterday there was part 1. Today it's part 2 of the response being given to, obviously being a response that is being given to sentiments that were echoed during the World Press Freedom Day, which suggested that media owners are selfish. And obviously the News Diggers is responding, but we'll be able to speak to that because we are in the private sector and a media house in the private sector, obviously.
Right.
Yeah, so we'll be able to speak to that also. But for now, you know that your health is your wealth. So what do? We get into the health corner. Join us on the other side.
Hi, good morning and welcome to the breakfast show here on Camnet TV. I am Dr. Nakuyana Mfaya. So this week we are going to be discussing a very important topic. It's a topic that is affecting many people, and it not only affects the older people but even younger children that are around. We see them, they are taking part in this activity. So we're talking about alcoholic liver disease, also abbreviated as ALD. So we'll talk about ALD this week, which is alcoholic liver disease. We'll discuss how it comes about, what happens to the liver when you take alcohol. We'll also discuss some of the signs and symptoms that you have alcoholic liver disease and how it's diagnosed and treated, and also talk about how the complications of alcoholic liver disease. So alcohol abuse is very prevalent in our community. There are so many people who are abusing alcohol, not only adults and not only men, but even women. So both men and women are now abusing alcohol and taking so much alcohol. And we've also seen that even children are now taking part in alcohol consumption. So even younger than 15 years and below, others are very, very young and they're taking this toxic substance. So alcohol really affects our bodies, and it affects many organs and contributes to so many illnesses and so many diseases. And the liver is one of them. So the liver is not spared, and mostly because the liver is the one that metabolizes this alcohol. It's the one that breaks it down. So the liver is the main organ that is involved in the breakdown of alcohol. So in the process, it gets injured. So today we'll talk about what is alcoholic liver disease. Alcoholic liver disease is a progressive inflammation of the liver. So when we say inflammation, we mean that the liver is becoming bigger in size and becoming inflamed, basically, so and injured. So the liver, as someone continues to take heavy or takes alcohol in large amounts, large quantities of alcohol, or heavy drinking of alcohol, this is what results in injury to the liver. The liver is the second largest organ in the body, second to the skin. So the skin is the largest organ and the liver is the second largest organ. And our liver helps to keep us healthy, to keep us alive basically, because it metabolizes so many things. All the food that we eat has to go to the liver for it to be useful in our bodies. So the liver is an organ that we really need to be taken care of, taking very good care of. It also helps to break down the drugs that we take when you are ill and you're given drugs to drink. Most of them are metabolized in the liver. And not only that, but even toxins, so many other toxins that you might have ingested that you don't even know about, can be broken down in the liver. So the liver is a very important organ in our bodies, and without a liver you can't function, because the liver has to keep your body healthy and to keep your body from becoming ill. So there are many functions that it plays, but these are some of the few functions that that the liver does for our bodies. So alcohol really is a very huge, alcohol drinking is of huge concern because it's affecting many people, and many people are now having alcoholic liver disease. And so we need to know why alcohol affects the liver and how this comes about. So tomorrow we discuss how the liver is affected by alcohol. What really happens when you take alcohol? What does it do to the liver? So tomorrow we'll discuss how that happens in the body. So today we were talking about alcoholic liver disease and what it is. We said it's a progressive inflammation of the liver that results from excessive alcohol use over a long period of time. So the liver, we say that the liver does so much for our bodies, and it's a very important and vital organ for our bodies, and it helps to metabolize so many drugs and toxins, and also helps to keep our bodies healthy and to just keep us alive. So that is what we are learning for today. I do hope you have learned something, and hope to see you again tomorrow.
Okay, so that's our resident doctor there. I hope you got one or two things from that particular presentation. But for now, we get into our money markets and look at our foreign exchange rate and see how the kwacha is faring against major convertible currencies. Let's go. Okay, so there we have it. The United States dollar is buying at 27 kwacha 1 ngwe and selling at 27 kwacha 54 ngwe, and the euro is buying at 29 kwacha 4 ngwe and selling at 29 kwacha 61 ngwe. The Great British Pound is buying at 33 kwacha 71 ngwe and selling at 34 kwacha 38 ngwe. The South African Rand is buying at 1 kwacha 45 ngwe and selling at 1 kwacha 48 ngwe. Now these foreign exchange rates have been updated today, the 9th of May in the year 2024 at exactly 07:18 hours. And obviously eyes on the ball, the kwacha against the dollar. So right now 1 kwacha $1 to $1 kwacha to $1.
A dollar to a kwacha is trading at 27.5 in Ngwe.
Yes. So there you have it. As you go into town or to do your business, please be rest assured that those are your exchange rates. So the dollar, like those in trading like to say, it's still at 27 kwacha, and we keep on saying we're given an assurance that the kwacha against the dollar would do a bullish attack. 3 months down the line, it keeps on escalating, and it's now at 27 kwacha, 0.54.
Yes.
Okay, let's get into it. We have interesting headlines. Should we do the newspaper pick first?
We can go either way.
Okay, let's start with the newspaper pick. We do have some interesting headlines in the broadsheet, the Zambia Daily Mail, an indigenous newspaper. Now, it comes with a screaming headline, Chanda, which reads, and I quote, ERB, which is the Energy Regulation Board, didn't consult. Mwetwa says announcement of tariff hikes didn't sit well with government. Now, obviously, this came to light during the press briefing that the minister held yesterday. Right. Chanda, that particular headline and the subsequent revelations coming from the Minister of Information and Media, who doubles as Member of Parliament for Choma Central and Chief Government Spokesperson. How do you make of that particular statement? What is really happening here?
It is quite an interesting statement, given the nature of it, because when the tariffs were increased, we all thought the directive came from government, and that government was aware, because we understand that the Energy Regulation Board, ERB, is under government, and so before it makes any decisions, it has to consult to the powers that be, and it cannot go without getting a directive from government. But then yesterday we did see the minister come through at a briefing and say, whatever you are seeing on the ground, we are not part of it. It equally surprised us. Just as you were surprised, we were equally surprised. But then I'm wondering, this is the Minister of Information that is saying that, meaning at the time ERB was approving the electricity tariffs because it came from ZESCO, meaning government was not involved. So they just took a go-ahead. ERB just said, let's say yes to this, then it goes. And now we are seeing electricity tariffs increased. Government is unaware, and to make matters worse, it's been 3 days now. That's when they've come out in public and saying we are not aware. They should have come out on the very first day.
Typical of the UPND, they take their time to respond to matters, in as much as they should realize that information now is real time. You need to rebut whatever is coming against you or at you before the sun sets. However, that's another topic for another day. Electricity tariff hikes. A month and some weeks ago, there were talks of ZESCO increasing electricity tariffs by 9%. A statement was issued. I think the Minister of Energy was quoted saying that they are still in consultations regarding these electricity tariffs. Yes. Right? The headlines came through, and it was reported in the media that they are in negotiations, obviously.
And you see, interestingly, so when all that was happening, you mean to tell me government was not aware, was not paying attention to what was happening on the ground? Because if people are planning to revise the tariffs, obviously you're watching what's happening. You have an idea, of course. Being government, you're supposed to be aware of what is happening in the country. And of course, before anything is approved, they knew something was in process. They should have called saying, we are aware of this issue of you wanting to increase electricity tariffs. Hold on to it. But then ERB goes ahead and says this one will be passed, and then government says, oh, we are not aware.
No. I think, you remember last time what I said? I said, I think it was on Monday, that we need to be very honest in managing the affairs of this country.
Right.
Now, it's so surprising that certain individuals have made lying a career. Okay?
Right.
They have made lying a career such that they feel, because there are those that are afflicted with selective amnesia, and there are some of us who are not afflicted by selective amnesia, so we don't easily forget. Now, headlines, it was reported in the media.
Right.
Okay? There's going to be a 9% tariff increment. Like the question that you're asking, does it mean that government wasn't aware? The answer is no, it was aware. Look, the board is appointed by the minister. The board of any parastatal is appointed by the minister of that particular ministry.
Right.
The board appoints who? The director general or the CEO. Okay? Of a named parastatal. Okay?
Right.
Yes. Now, if the board makes a decision minus the minister knowing, then there's a problem.
Yeah, there is a problem.
We should get worried.
Because as far as we are concerned, they should be reporting to the senior most. That's
insubordination. We should get worried. And now we are asking, why are they seemingly not informing their ministers? Remember, the same thing happened with Nima. We are seeing the same thing happening at the Ministry of Energy. So what's really happening? I think these are the issues that the UPN...
There's a communication crisis.
There's a communication crisis. Why aren't people communicating to you? Why don't they feel the urge to come to you and communicate their findings? Okay? And the ERB former board chair was quoted in the media yesterday saying that even my replacement will also do the same thing.
I saw that headline.
You see? Yes. Even my replacement will also do the same thing. So what is really happening here? Why are we getting inconsistencies in form of being communicated to as the citizens, so that we know which direction the UPND is taking us from? You get?
Right.
Yes. Because, look, I'll give you an example, right? I'll give you an example. If, for instance, you run a household, we come from different households. You come in here at work, you know that your house has been load shedded.
Right.
You can't leave your house knowing to say it has been load shedded. When you come back, there's still no power. Then you get surprised and say, how come there's no power here? I wasn't consulted. But sir, you left this house knowing to say you didn't even iron your shed because there was no power. So why are you surprised?
Even if you leave home with power, but because you know that currently we're being load shedded, you shouldn't be surprised when you come back home and find there's no power, because you know. I
wasn't consulted, so why am I being load shedded? Like, really? So what
That's not convincing.
No, it's not convincing.
From government.
For me, I wish I attended that press briefing. I would have taken the minister to task to give us explanations how this whole thing pans out. And also, he says the decision to increase load shedding is necessary to manage the available energy resources. Were we not told that they've started importing power from one of our neighboring countries?
Yes, we were told that.
Because
the contradiction is, why import power if you're trying to mitigate this crisis we are in, the power deficit? You've put in a measure to say we're going to be importing power to sustain our power supply in the country, but then you're considering increasing the number of load shedding hours. Then what's the importation for? Why are you spending money on importation of power?
Your guess is as good as mine. It's confusing. I'm confused equally.
So am I.
I'm confused. Oh, sorry, viewers. It's confusing.
It would have made more sense if we are not importing power and government says we are considering to review the number of hours that the country will be load shedded.
Yes.
Okay, we get it, because we are under a power deficit, and obviously as the day goes by, meaning the power continues to reduce, and we don't have a measure in place, so that is understandable. But then government comes out and says, ZESCO says, we've started the process effective 1st May of importing power.
Of importing power.
Effective 1st May.
That statement is there.
It's on record.
It's on record.
We're importing power to cushion the current deficit we have. And then you go ahead and say we're trying to revise the load management schedule, not downwards, to increase it, so that we sustain our water levels in the reservoirs. Really? Where is the power that is being imported being taken to?
Are we being sincere?
And amidst that, I find this confusing.
It is confusing.
Anyway, but that the issue of us exporting power, anyway, we're gonna have to exempt them because it is legally binding. They can't do that.
It is legally binding, but when you are faced with a crisis, wait. There's what is known as crisis management. When you're faced with a crisis, like the way the president declared drought as a national disaster, yeah, you can be able to sit on a round table. Look, let us not conduct ourselves as though these are things that are cast in stone. Okay, these agreements are cast in stone. You can never reverse them. It's impossible. It's done. No, you can always come on a negotiating table. You sit. You revise your terms of agreement. Okay.
Right.
So look, gentlemen, we are faced with a crisis. Okay, we are faced with a crisis. What are we going to do now that we won't be able to commit fully, okay, to this agreement that we signed? In fact, this agreement was signed by the previous regime, but since we are here, we are taking over everything, and now that we've got a crisis, unfortunately, let's revise our terms of agreement. People will agree. People will definitely agree. But you know that there was a response that came through that the exporting of power contributes to our GDP, so it's something that can never be done away with. We heard that.
We earn some forex from it.
Yes, so we heard that. So it's impossible. You see? So it's impossible to reverse. People don't want to reverse it. Now, we are being told power is being imported, and now if you are importing power to cushion the current power deficit, why then are you increasing load shedding hours? Why should my household be load shedded for 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 hours straight? Why? I need an answer. I need an explanation.
Definitely. And surprisingly, my concern really is, why are we getting such responses from government?
I seriously don't know. Like this one that came through yesterday during the press briefing. The decision to increase load shedding is necessary to manage the available energy resources. I wish I attended this particular briefing. I regret not attending it. I would have asked the minister, where are these inconsistencies coming from?
Right.
Is it because him and the power utility company are not talking? He's not getting information? Because that's what I'm seeing. ERB and government. ERB is government.
Yes, and so it's just...
So why are you telling us that you don't know what was happening at ERB, you don't know what was happening at ZESCO regarding the tariff hikes? What is happening here? We need to be sincere.
Right.
We need to be very sincere when dealing with citizens, and when citizens complain or they begin to bring out these concerns. But you had an example. There's an example that you wanted to give.
Right. So my concern really is, imagine you being the head of the house. You're coming from your family, you're the husband in the house. Obviously, you run the affairs of the house.
Of course.
Nothing goes past you. You're kept abreast with regards to anything that is happening in your house. So any decision that is made has to go through you. At least 90% of the decisions, especially those that carry weight, have to go through you. Your wife should be able to come through to you and say, my husband, this is what I want to do. Please advise.
Consultatively.
Consultatively. If need be, you even call the children.
Yes. We sit as a cabinet.
You sit as a cabinet of that house. You discuss. This is a matter that is on the table. How do we do with it? But then, you as the husband, you come out of a home and you find a decision has been made and you say, I was not consulted.
I'm not aware.
You are not aware.
I'm waiting for my children and wife to sort out themselves, then they inform me.
As the head of the house, as a leader,
wow,
who should be leading, because those people should be following suit to your steps. And then you say, wait a minute. That, I'm not aware. I was not consulted. I am equally as surprised as you are. Really? It's not convincing.
It's so convincing.
Coming from a leader.
And to make matters worse,
what we should be speaking about now is, okay, yes, electricity tariffs have been increased.
What next?
Amid this load shedding, what is the solution?
Yes.
How are we going to survive amid this predicament? How are we going to get out of this predicament? We get it.
Because I'm seeing a...
Unless they tell us government is going to reverse this decision because they were not aware, that will probably
how are they not
provide
aware?
some sort of relief.
How are
but then if it's still going to be in effect, and then government says we were not aware, what benefit is that to us?
But yes, what benefit is that to us? And not so long ago, was it last week or early this week, when the minister again was quoted to say, embrace
the fuel adjustments.
Embrace the fuel adjustments.
Given the current economic hardships. Yes, we understand.
We are taught to embrace whatever
we are facing quite severe economic challenges. And we know that. The Zambian people know that. The Zambian people knew that in 2021. Which is why you were placed as an alternative government to the PF to provide solutions and fix the economic mess we are in as a country.
So don't pretend like
you came out to the public and said, we will fix it.
So don't pretend
we'll bring it down.
Yes.
But then you come out and say, embrace it.
Embrace it.
Embrace this economic hardships.
Look, your children call you and tell you, or your dependents or whatever, they call you and tell you to say, oh, there's a broken pipe here at home. Okay? No, I'm coming with a plumber. I'm coming. It's going to be fixed.
Right.
I'm coming. I'm on my way. You get home, you look at the extent of the damage with your so-called plumber standing next to you. Then you look at your children and tell them to say, endure this. It's necessary. These are the responses that we're getting. It's necessary to manage the current. Look, management entails that you should use the available resources to meet your goals, objectives. The available resources. What available resources are we using? We have been calling on the international community as a country to do what? To come and help us.
To aid us.
To aid us in terms of dealing with the drought. We have been calling on the international community to do what? To come and help us in terms of the load shedding deficit. We said we are importing, but unfortunately, we are increasing ours as a country. What is the communication crisis? Why are we not getting answers that are convincing?
My question as well. And really the trickle-down effects, I wonder if they do consider the trickle-down effects of this decision on ordinary citizens. People running businesses.
No. From where I'm seated, with these responses that are coming, it's the same as season 2 of the responses that came during the patriotic front. During the same load shedding period, when citizens were told to go and pee in Kariba Dam so that it can be filled up. It's on record. How much tea that would have been. I don't know. It's on record. It's there. We were told that as members of the public, as citizens.
Right.
Yes. So anyway, we do have a story here. Let's go to that particular story where government chief spokesperson Cornelius Mwetwa says that stakeholders involved in debt restructuring processes consider fuel subsidies as a luxury. We'll go on this particular clip. We'll be right back on the other side.
For the reintroduction of subsidies to arrest the escalating cost of living, subsidize fuel, for instance, I would like to indicate that presently the government Republic of Zambia has no immediate intentions to reintroduce fuel subsidies. This is because the fuel subsidies, firstly, cannot be reintroduced in the face of a debt which was inherited by this administration, which it is still in process to liquidate or pay. An attempt to introduce subsidy, therefore, would just escalate the deficit, financial deficit situation the country finds itself in terms of the energy sector. Indicates that the decision to potentially increase load shedding hours is not taken lightly and is directly linked to the current challenges we face with decreasing water flows at the Zambezi River, particularly at Chavuma.
Okay, so that's Honorable Cornelius Mwetwa there, the Chief Government Spokesperson, and Choma Central Member of Parliament addressing the media. Mr. Mwetwa assured of government's commitment to improve the lives of citizens and challenges faced. Mr. Mwetwa attributed the increased load shedding to decreased water levels at hydro stations, reducing electricity production. This was already known by the UPND, right? That Kariba, water levels rise down. And, so the Zambian people gave them a mandate to fix this particular problem. And we're being told that it's necessary that this is happening. However, the questions that we would like to ask, and I wish if the minister is watching, he can call in. The questions that we would like to ask the minister is, for instance, when is this load shedding coming to an end? Number one. Number two, what mitigating measures have you put in place? Yes, you told us you are importing, but then again, you are telling us that you are going to increase load shedding hours. So that's counterproductive already, and that's inconsistent with mitigating measures that can work to the benefit of the Zambian people. So those are some of the questions that we have that he needs to obviously respond to. Okay, away from the load shedding issues, going back again to the newspaper, Chanda, we discover that there's another headline which says, okay, information has emerged, government is trying to register fake UKA, Lungu's team cries foul, we can't stop the registration of any party, Mwimbu. Now, yesterday, obviously, social media was awash with write-ups. It was awash that there were allegations that there's a particular political party that will be registered, which has the initials UKA as well.
Okay.
Yes, and hence the news diggers running with this headline: government is trying to register a fake UKA. Lungu's team cries foul. We can't stop the registration of any political party, Mwimbu, and obviously Mwimbu is referring to the Home Affairs Minister, Honorable State Council Jack Mwimbu. Okay, so there we have it. Then also the must comes in with a headline that reads, government has become stubborn, it's too educated for its people. are just doing things the way they want. Spalo. Okay. Opposition leader, Munadi aspirant, and Mutendele's finest, if you like. That's Thomas Spalo there, saying that, what do you think? Government is too educated for its citizens? Do you agree with this statement or observation?
To a certain degree, there could be some element of truth in that statement. Because how many times have we seen the current government adjust to the concerns of the citizens, rather advice coming from the citizens? Is it a know-it-all type of government? We've seen quite several opposition political parties jump on the bandwagon and say, we feel you should handle this issue by doing A, B, C, D. Were those concerns embraced by the current government? Has the current government sought dialogue with opposition political parties in terms of addressing some of the challenges we are facing as a country? Is it a know-it-all government? Does it call on other stakeholders to ask questions, especially those that have been before them? Say, we remember in your time, you had a similar situation. How did you handle it? Are we seeing that? This is not the first time the country is experiencing a drought. We've had a drought before. There was another regime during that time. We've got a drought now. Are we seeing consultations being made? This is not the first time we're being load-shedded as a country. We've been load-shedded before, during the previous regime. Are we seeing consultations being made on how best we can handle the situation? So to me, my personal view, in my opinion, there could be some element of truth in the pronouncement by Thomas Sipalo. And of course, not until we see some sort of change coming in from government and probably calling on opposition parties, whoever it might be, who has a valid concern and really has the interest of the public and Zambia at large for a positive concern, should be brought on the table to be able to discuss and share their opinions and say, let's do it this way. Let's try this way. This way is not working. How about we try this way?
I agree. I totally agree with you. At least that's a perception this administration has created out there. That it's more like a know-it-all kind of administration. You know, we still have veteran politicians that are still alive and kicking right now. Yes, they might be in their there might be older citizens, quite alright, but they are filled with wisdom. These are individuals that this current government can go to or call upon them to have economic discussions, social economic discussions regarding the affairs of this particular country. And we're not seeing that happening. And when these individuals are no more, where are we going to go as a country for political advice? Where are we going to go?
Nowhere.
No,
because those people would have gone with their brilliant ideas.
Of course.
Meanwhile, when they were still alive, we didn't seek dialogue with them. So meaning their wisdom is gone.
Just like that. Let's give an opportunity to each and every member.
And that in any way does not really demean the current regime if they seek dialogue with the opposition.
No, it doesn't.
Especially as wanting to work under the One Zambia, One Nation motto.
It doesn't make you less of a human when you consult.
We should come together for the common good of the Zambian people.
Even parents do consult their children. It doesn't mean when you consult your son, your daughter, then you're no longer a father.
You cease to be the head of the house?
No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. In fact, studies have shown that effective, efficient, and celebrated leaders are those that consult widely. Now, We don't know what is really happening with these inconsistencies, and they keep on coming. It's not only in one ministry. We've seen it in the Ministry of Health, and the Minister of Health is on record herself on the floor of Parliament, our house, where she said that she is aware that there are people at the Ministry of Health that undermine her. That clip is there. It circulated widely on social media. I was watching her address. I can even tell you what she wore that particular day when she made that statement.
That's how much attention you were paying.
That's how much attention I paid to her response in Parliament when she said she is aware that there are certain individuals at Ministry of Health, Ndeke House, that undermine her. Now, fast forward, Nima was taken back to a Ministry of Health. They made a decision, and government came out through her, the Minister of Health, and said there were no consultations made. So we are reversing the decisions that you made as Nima, we are reversing them. Fast forward, a week later, the Ministry of Energy also, government says whatever ERB did, we don't know. The PS says we are waiting for a statement to come from the Energy Regulation Board. Let them put their house in order because government was not aware of their decisions. The minister comes up and says, no, actually, we were not consulted over the tariff hikes, so we don't know what was happening. I'm failing to follow. Maybe I need to be schooled. I'm failing to follow.
We all need to be schooled.
Yes, I'm failing. Even if you're going to write a story, how would you write a story with inconsistencies?
You end up misinforming the public.
You end up misinforming the public at the end of the day. This one says this one says this is what is happening, this is the reality. The board chairperson has been fired. The DG, Director General, has been sent on forced leave. Their social media bloggers were refusing over the weekend.
Right.
And now this has come in, it has been confirmed that yes, the learned man has been fired. So what are their bloggers going to say? What are the press singers going to say? Let us not support for the sake of, what can I say? For the sake of supporting. Let's be objective. There are some people that forward arguments minus researching.
Right.
Minus having any form of information regarding a particular subject that you are attempting to debate. You just want to support because you feel maybe this person is saying this because they hate this person.
Or rather the party involved is someone you favor? Yes.
No, sir. These are national matters. Emotions aside. There is no hatred here. These are national matters.
We're just trying to be objective.
We are trying to be objective, and as members of the media, like Honorable Cornelius Mweta likes to call us, friends in the media, we will endeavor to report, inform the general public objectively, factually, and we'll make sure that the information that we bring out to you is verified. Because look, if we're not getting information, if the people that are supposed to give us information, we contact them, they are not picking up their phones. Okay? It's not that maybe they have your number, then you're calling them. You decide to use a different number.
They still don't pick up.
They still don't pick up.
They don't want to speak to anyone.
They don't want to speak to anyone. Then you call the PS says, just keep on calling him.
He's going to pick up.
He's going to pick up.
Direct that call to the minister.
Wait. The PS is the controlling officer of a named ministry. No wonder, times that number, people have called on permanent secretaries to be technocrats. People that know what they're doing in that particular office.
Right.
Okay? Such that when you call a permanent secretary, they will be able to give you information there and then. It's on their fingertips. If they're not too sure, they'll tell you, okay, give me 10 minutes, I'll get back to you. Okay? Then they'll call you, they'll give you information. Because they know this borders on national matters. But if you're going to call a permanent secretary, they don't have information, they tell you to say, keep on calling the minister, he will respond. It's the PS that feeds information the minister. So all the necessary information regarding that particular ministry.
So the PS should be well informed than the minister.
Of course. The PS should be well informed than the minister. Because the minister is a policy maker. Okay? The minister is a lawmaker. The PS is the controlling officer. When there's anomalies or whatever in a ministry, who's taken to charge? Nowadays you have two permanent secretaries. Okay? You have one for technical and one for administration, right?
Right.
What happened at the Ministry of Health when this government came into place? In fact, before even this government came into place, there was a lady for, is it administration? Then we had a doctor man for technical. The lady was sent on, she was sent on forced leave, first of all. After that, she was fired. Then we saw also the technical permanent secretary also being fired. They were taken to task because of the anomalies that were happening under that ministry. And the former minister is there. Because he's a policymaker. You as the permanent secretary, you are the one that feeds the minister. You are the one that gives the minister information, administratively or technically.
Right.
So you can't come to us and tell us to say, keep on calling the minister, he will respond. No, sir. It doesn't work like that. The people of Zambia deserve better. The electorate deserve better. And we should be able to have answers. We should be able to have answers.
No, I agree. We definitely need answers to some of these burning issues that are coming in from the public. And their concerns really need to be heard and responded to, because they are valid. Having been the people that woke up at 5 in the morning, at 4 in the morning to ensure that you are placed in that position. At 3 in the morning to ensure that you are placed in that position. And
you know, those days,
they deserve answers.
It was very cold those days. So when we were doing the stories for people that were voting, we didn't even sleep. We left the office, then we started going around Lusaka. So we started with North Mid Machinchi Road.
Right.
Yeah. There are drainages. People were sleeping in drainages. They had come with their braziers, Mambaula. They had come with them, waiting to cast their vote. And it was freezing.
It was that serious?
It was that serious. Lined up. Okay? We went Chilenje, it was the same thing. Bowling, it was the same thing. Matero, it was the same thing. Okay?
Just to ensure that you are placed in that position.
You are placed in that position. Collectively, the people of Zambia made that decision. Fast forward, they are saying the cost of living is high. You
do not want
the journalists, you are not reporting things that are factual. And we tell them, we call these people in these offices, they are ever busy. Their phones go unanswered. And this is not only unique maybe to me. It's a common practice out there. MISA conducted a study, asked a number of journalists. Through that survey, they revealed that it's difficult to get information from this administration, from this government. It's very difficult. It's either they don't answer phones. When they answer, no, talk to my PR, they'll schedule you for Monday so that I can be able to answer to that.
And they don't get back to you.
They don't get back to you. You call their PR, look, give me somebody from your ministry. Okay, call me tomorrow around 10 hours. You call around 10 hours, she's not picking up.
They're busy.
They're busy. So all these things are happening. And like we say, nobody seems to care. It's...
Well, we are waiting to see what's going to happen pertaining those issues. And of course, there's a pending operationalization of the Access to Information Bill, which is now law. And once that is done, we'll probably begin to utilize it effectively and ensure that we get the much needed information that we are asking for. But for now, let's take a look at another story that is making headline this morning. Of course, we are seeing former provincial chairman for Western Province in the Patriotic Front reign, Charles Mututwa, has defected to the ruling party, United Party for National Development, UPND. Speaking at a media briefing Wednesday, UPND Deputy Secretary General Gertrude Imenda described the comeback of Mr. Mututwa as an indicator that the UPND is on the right trajectory in governing the country. She adds that the UPND remains committed in spearheading development and bringing on board other members to complement their efforts of ensuring unity and peace in the nation. Meanwhile, Mr. Mututwa has expressed gratitude to the UPND for welcoming him without discrimination. We do have a clip for this story. Let's have a look at it. Just like the prodigal son, former provincial chairman for Western Province during the former President Edgar Lungu's administration, Charles Mututwa, has defected back to his former party, the United Party for National Development, UPND. Mr. Mututwa was at a media briefing Wednesday, welcomed by the UPND Deputy Secretary General, Gertrude Imenda, who thanked him for joining the party and joining hands with the UPND in spearheading development in Zambia. Ms. Imenda has further described the comeback of Mr. Mututwa as a testament to the commitment the UPND administration has in ensuring that there is good governance in the country.
Our witnessing today is because the people are appreciating what the UPND government is doing for this country. Despite the challenges that they are facing, people are seeing that we are on the right track. And today we are witnessing one of the people who has been convinced and that we are on the right track, and he wants to be part and parcel of the march towards economic rebuilding and economic recovery. You recall that a few months ago we received Frank Wale, yes, Frank Wale, who was also in PF, and he came to join us.
Meanwhile, Mr. Mututwa has expressed gratitude to the party for warmly being welcomed and has since pledged to remain committed and contribute to the growth and sustenance of the party. He adds that his comeback has been motivated by the positive agenda of the UPND.
It has been a party that has been too close to the people. I felt that I should not remain behind because my people want development. As an individual, there is nothing that I can do apart from being closer to my father. If I can plead with my father for our people, then something can be given to them. Instead of fighting, as a leader, it's in order for me to observe and follow the father of the nation.
Alex Chewe, equally a defector, has also thanked the UPND for embracing him, further stating that he was neglected during his stay in the Patriotic Front.
Youths out there, Hispanic UPND government. So what's our dream? Padi uka takwa. Uka yadirara. No that yara buka. To airene tungurushi mbi. Tungurushi la turufi. So na that side kuwela kuchipani. So bayufi banandi below to the party, not to a human being or an individual. UPND H diko. Teri rokobati wakafumia kwa UPND na ngwauka wale posa finished. Wakashe tumbiri pepa. Eve machine nachukua taxi ningeba ba yufi konse kudio kobali.
Chanda Mwango for Camnet News in Lusaka.
Okay, defections, they are coming through from the opposition Patriotic Front to the ruling United Party for National Development. And that happened in Barotiland, the western part of Zambia, where those defections have taken place. But my question, being a political journalist and being a political enthusiast, Mwango, is what significance does it have for someone to defect? And if you are receiving a defector, Do they have political muscle? Do they have political influence? Because politics is a game of numbers. Are they coming with numbers at the end of the day?
Probably, because that is the former provincial chairman for Western Province in the PF.
But the Western, the Barocheland, Western part of Zambia, is known for having been a UPND bedroom. A UPND, I don't like the word strongholds anyway, but it has been known as a UPND favorite.
Yeah, so now that he has come to the UPND, it means he sort of has more power or more chances of him again probably serving as the provincial chairman for Western Province, because now
how about those that were
there? Under the UPND.
How about those that were there, that were waiting to be provincial chairman? Is he going to take over?
That's a debate that's going to happen within the party. They will decide who they can best place at that position.
Okay, those are internal matters anyway of the UPND. So defectors, they are defecting, but we appreciate Morgan on our Facebook page. Thank you so much. Good morning to you and the rest of the people that are tuned in on our Facebook page, keeping us company. Molenga Muntembo also says, which people are appreciating apart from Njala? We'll remove that word. It's not TV friendly. However, thank you so much, Mulenga, for coming through. Edwin Zulu says, the minister is a rubber stamp. Ministers are politicians and serving in government in power. They cannot buy the finger that feeds them, no matter what happens. It has been there in all successful governments. Edwin Zulu, thank you so much. Mr. Edwin Zulu, our Edwin Zulu. Thank you so much, Mr. Zulu. We appreciate you. Then Mr. Zulu comes through again and says, permanent secretaries are controlling officers. They are the brains behind any ministry in government. He vindicates me and he quantifies what I was telling you, Mwango. Mr. Edwin Zulu comes through and says, watching Camnet TV breakfast show. Thank you so much, Mr. Zulu, for coming through. Kambole Katukula says, his profile picture is that of President Hakainde Hichilema. He says, the current state of affairs under the UPND government is okay. We all know that transitioning to a new government often comes with high expectations, but rebuilding a country takes time and effort from everyone involved. I agree that subsidies are not a solution to reduce fuel. The debt mountain we have is partially due to fuel subsidies. It's essential to hold leaders accountable while also working together towards progress. Kambole Katukula there, thank you so much. Wami Junior Innocent says, good morning to you. Sweet Morgan, thank you so much for coming through, my brother as well. Mr. Edwin is watching, Mr. Edwin Zulu is watching. Thank you so much for your messages and obviously for taking part in the breakfast show this particular morning.
I love the comments coming in from the person with
Mr. Zulu.
I don't know, I've forgotten his name, with the president's profile picture.
Oh, it's,
but then my concern is
it's Kambole.
Kambole is defending that the current state of affairs in the country is just okay, given the fact that transitioning from one government to the other comes with its own challenges, and rebuilding the country takes time. But then, okay, that's a valid point. Those are valid points, except that when we see the profile picture, it sort of changes the narrative as to why you are issuing those comments.
Okay.
Are you just saying it because it is really what is pertaining on the ground, or you are in favor of the UPND? Because first and foremost, before anything, we are going to judge you by what is on your profile picture. You have the current president on your profile picture. So if you say anything that is in line with the president, we'll take it as though you are one of his people.
Okay. Okay.
But other than that, aside that, that's a valid concern. But then the question is, it's a 5-year tenure. How long should we wait as the Zambian people for us to see the economic transformation that we've been waiting for? As promised.
The UPND has had 7 months.
And their defense really has been
7 months.
This mess has been caused under 10 years. We can't fix it in 5. But given the current state,
should
the Zambian people really again place confidence in them to assign them another 5 years?
But
where do you see this country going in 10 years, given the current state of affairs?
Mwangu, look, first of all, let's be very fair. Let's be very fair. It would be unfair, yes, I agree. It would be unfair for President Hakainde Hichilema, who's currently in Kenya right now as we speak, to fix everything that was done 10 years before, and maybe, okay, since Zambia got independence, because all the successful governments have been inheriting whatever.
Right.
It would be very unfair to expect him to fix everything in 2 years, 7 months. Yeah?
Right.
Let's be clear on that one. It will be very unfair. However, things that can be fixed, can we have them fixed? Things like load shedding, things like the high cost of living, maize production. We are still seeing trucks leaving the country with tens and thousands of bags of meal across our borders. What is being done? Surely that can be fixed. Let it be fixed so that we have enough for our own here in Zambia. Things that can be fixed, like adhering to technical advice from well-learned individuals. Number one, El Nino is coming. Let's reserve our maize. What's the response that we've got on the floor of Parliament? I follow Parliament, King. I follow those debates, King. What were we told? We have enough stock of maize. We have excess. We are selling excess. What happened? The drought is upon us. What are we doing? Calling for international
aid.
And
we are beginning to import the same maize we had exported.
We are beginning to import the same maize that we exported.
At a price this time around.
At a price. You see? That can be fixed. However, it wasn't fixed. Things that can be fixed. Energy technocrats. Right now there's a paper that is gathering dust in one of these ministries where energy experts gave recommendations, not in this government, in the previous government. In fact, I think it was in the SATA government. Recommendations on how we can conserve our own power and be able to generate more power. That research paper is there. Why are we not going back to look at that paper and begin to reveal it? Things that can be fixed. UPND has got the 8th National Development Plan. We are coming from the 7th National Development Plan.
Right.
We have public documents in these ministries, Ministry of Finance, how this economy can be grown. Since 2012, those documents are there. Things that can be fixed. Have we seen this government going to those documents and saying, okay, fine, let's follow what is in this document and begin to implement? The tendency that we have as a country, Mwango CEO, I'm taking over from Mwango CEO, whatever Mwango is doing is rubbish. You rubbish everything. I'm starting anew. I have my own ideas. Let's begin to adopt progressive ideas. This is why, when I was having a conversation with colleagues, I was saying, look, we can even begin to say, that minister performed well in that ministry. When government changes, maintain that particular person. If we can have such laws, because this tendency of replacing everybody, and sometimes we are tempted to even give employment opportunities to individuals that are not competent enough to manage a particular job portfolio, is what is leading this country to where we are right now, where we are getting inconsistencies from even people that are supposed to be technocrats, the permanent secretaries. Mr. Edwin Zulu here agrees with me here, with us. Mwango to say the permanent secretary is the brain, the engine of a ministry. Information is supposed to be on their fingertips. Not them telling you to say, keep on calling the minister, you respond. You try different numbers, the man is not responding. What do you do? Our viewer here says you can't bite a finger that feeds you. We have seen leaders that have resigned on moral grounds. I don't agree with this. I'm moving out. One of them is Honorable Harikara. What did he do during the PF? It's on record.
Step down.
He stepped down. I don't agree with what is happening. Allow me to leave. He left. We have seen ministers, like for instance, in the Mwanawasa government, Honorable Mundia Skatana, may you so rest in peace. Together with his president, Dr. Levi Patrick Mwanawasa, they stood their ground and said our people never consume GMOs.
But people are different. Don't forget that these people are politicians before ministers.
But even Honorable Mundia Skatana, may so rest in peace, was a politician before he became a minister. But they said we are going to eat our own indigenous crops.
The agenda is different.
This grain that we have is unique to Zambia. We won't accept GMOs. The former minister was here, Honorable Gaston Chilima. He said it. He reviewed it. It's not coming from me. He said it. Former President, may so rest in peace, Dr. Levi Patrick Mwanawasa said, if people don't want to associate with us because they are coming to us with conditionalities, let them be. We'll run our own affairs. What has happened? Why can't we see that happening? Why can't we see that happening? So if you want to play politics on the expense of the Zambian people, then you are not fit to be in that position that you are in. You are not. Because it means, number one, you've taken the people of Zambia for granted. Okay? You can come to them, you tell them whatever you want to tell them, they elect you as councillor, they elect you as member of parliament, 300 degrees. All these increments are necessary.
Embrace them.
Embrace them. And these inconsistencies are consistent. Get me right.
I see what you
These
did there.
inconsistencies are consistent
Right.
with these government officials.
Right.
On the floor of parliament, in the August House, we were told we're increasing in order to reduce. What is happening? So you might call them inconsistencies, but they are consistent with those that
keep recurring.
They keep recurring, and you're wondering to say, what is happening? How are we so much consistent
In terms of inconsistency.
You know the stories.
Right, one of the stories indeed making headlines again this morning is that government has acknowledged the water crisis faced by citizens residing in George, Kanyama and other peri-urban areas in Lusaka. Water Development and Sanitation Minister Mike Mposha has reaffirmed government's commitment to improve access to clean water and sanitation services in various compounds, particularly in underserved communities, in line with the 80th National Development Plan of providing access to clean and safe water for all. He said this during the groundbreaking ceremony for the drilling of 10 commercial boreholes in Kanyama constituency. Mr. Mposha says the project will cost 22 million kwacha and is expected to benefit 48,000 residents in the two areas. We have a report for this particular story. Let's have a look at it. In line with Sustainable Development Goal number 6 of providing access to clean water and sanitation, government has embarked on a borehole drilling project in Lusaka's Kanyama and George compound areas. The project, which will see the two areas having 10 boreholes each, will cost a sum of 22 million kwacha. Speaking at the commissioning ceremony in Kanyama, Wednesday, 18th May 2024, Minister of Water and Sanitation Development, Mike Mposha, says the initiative is aimed at reducing reliance on shallow wells to curb health implications as witnessed during the cholera pandemic. He adds that the project, which is being done in collaboration with the Lusaka Water and Sanitation Company, will mitigate the impacts of the drought and provide a reliable and sustainable source of clean and safe drinking water.
Extremely delighted
to join you here this morning at this groundbreaking ceremony for the drilling of 20 boreholes, 10 to be drilled here in Kanyama constituency and 10 to be drilled in George compound of Matero constituency. Let me start by warmly welcoming all of you to this very important event. The 20 commercial boreholes are being drilled for the purpose of contributing.
Mr. Mposha has further cautioned the public against vandalizing the bores once they are erected.
The ones we are breaking today, we are commissioning today, whose works we are commissioning today, we must work together to ensure that where we are coming from in terms of installation, you pick up the responsibility to safeguard. So this also goes to the church leadership. Let us begin to talk about water issues, water challenges, and how we can protect the water sources in church. Like they say, charity begins at home, isn't it? So once we talk to the Sunday school children, to these children here, about how we need to protect the taps, how we need to protect the water leakages.
Meanwhile, Kanyama Garden Park Area Councillor Gerard Shamboko has expressed gratitude to the government for the initiative, as his constituency has been grappling to access clean and safe drinking water.
When it floods, there is that mixture of fecal matter with the water that our people drink. And because of that, we've been recording cases of cholera year in, year out in this area. And so we want to say thank you for walking the talk as the government. I remember when the Vice President came to commission these tanks, she promised to say these are just temporary measures and you will come up with a permanent solution. And this is the permanent solution that we have brought to the people of Garden Park and people of George Compound. We say thank you, may the Lord bless you.
Meanwhile, some residents in the area have hailed government for the initiative, especially having been susceptible to the cholera pandemic.
Manzi tenzo kufika mungu ya mumugozi tenzo faka makulorini ela manje manzi atatapo kumwa ya mumugozi atafaka makulorini bati panchita mene mwagwira tate mwagwira nchito tiyamika ise ku garden park kwako zemera tikira chita chape bwino tiyamikira takondwera bati tifunako clinic na hospital neva mene tilibe futi polisi clinic skulu tilibe bati manzi bagwira nchito.
Chanda Mwango for Camnet News in Lusaka.
Okay, that's a clip they are showing the minister there of water. It's good that the minister is responding to issues that have to do with water, because in Monali constituency, particularly Mutendere East, there has not, they didn't have water for 2 weeks straight amid this load shedding.
I just hope that initiative will equally be extended to Mtendere, as you have put it, because currently it's being done in Kanyama and George Compound, where they are drilling 20 bores. Of course, each particular area is going to have 10 and the other 10. This is an effort by government to provide the access to clean and safe drinking water in those two areas.
Not him being biased, and not to say that the residents of Kanyama constituency and Matero constituencies in George do not deserve water, but him being minister, I'm thinking maybe even 2 boreholes would have been taken to his constituency. Not being biased, but him being minister, he would have said, my people in my constituency do not have water supply. Let me have at least 2 boreholes from this particular project. That would have been done. He's a minister after all. Yes.
Well, we just hope that it is extended to Mtendere. And,
but it is a government project at the end of the day, so yeah, he has control over that. He is the Minister of Water after all. He has control over that. But it's a good thing that the residents of George in Material constituency are going to have visit 10?
10, yeah. 10 each. 10 in Kanyama, 10 in George.
10 in Kanyama, 10 in George. Okay.
And remember, Kanyama was susceptible to cholera, so this is a good thing for them.
Before the rain season comes.
It's a good thing for them, and it will equally prevent them from utilizing shallow wells.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Because as you know, there was a ban to that effect by the president during the time,
shallow wells.
Yes, during the time we were experiencing cholera. Yeah, he banned the use of shallow wells.
Shallow wells.
Now we are seeing that they are getting bores. At least they will have access to clean and safe drinking water.
Please, even like you are saying, we hope it's extended to Bauleni. We hope it's extended to Munali constituency, Kwakamanga, Mtendere as well. Mtendere
I know Foxdale equally has been grappling with issues of water.
Foxdale?
Yes.
Foxdale
has really been grappling with issues of water. We've had some of the residents staged some protests at the Lusaka Water and Storage Company. That story you carried out? Yes, at Lusaka Water and Storage Company, and they were back just some days ago to protest for the second time because they were not responded positively to during the previous protest. We just hope their concerns would be heard and they will be provided with clean and safe drinking water in that area. Even a bore is okay.
Even a borehole is okay.
If they cannot rectify the issues going around in the pipes, they can equally extend bores in the area.
Let them also extend that to garden. Garden compound. You know, it's heartbreaking when you go through these townships and you realize that 60 years after independence, people are still drawing water from what they call Vimakea or Pakea. Those water kiosks, those that you find in the townships, they call them care.
Yeah.
I don't know whether they were donated by Care International, so they call them Pakea. Whether it's rainy season,
you see people lining up
as early as 04, 03. By 5 hours, 6 hours, the tap needs to be turned off. You have to draw your water. 60 years after independence. That's a source of worry, and it's good that the minister, government through his ministry, is now sinking these balls that we are seeing. Hope they won't be vandalized, because people in town also
equally caution the residents to desist from vandalizing.
They've got the tendency of vandalizing.
There are 10 in that. There will be 10 in that area, and of course, and they're quite expensive to erect.
They are expensive.
They are quite expensive to erect. And,
but then again,
it's a drawback when they are vandalized.
Maintenance.
You did assure the residents that they will be maintained, because provided they are not vandalized.
They have to be protected before they are vandalized. Not that they are vandalized. No. Protect them so that they are not vandalized, because we have unruly youths in these townships that misbehave a lot.
They are seeing money in the bores.
They are seeing samples in bores. Samples in them. They are seeing samples in bores. So they need to protect those assets, even members of the community themselves. These are your things.
They should guard them jealously.
Yes, they should guard them jealously, because these boreholes are there to save them and help them fight cholera when that time comes. You know, cholera is an annual. Anyway, let us not get there. But they should be able to protect these assets that they have been provided with.
Right.
Yeah, we just hope the community will do that. But again, we hope this will be extended to other areas. Not only in Lusaka,
but across the country.
Across the country. Can this also be extended to Central Province? Kabwe Central also needs to benefit. Okay? Wacha also needs to benefit. Katondo needs to benefit. Makururu needs to benefit. And you know, Makururu Township is one of the biggest townships in Southern Africa. Makururu. And it is found where? In Kabwe, in Central Province. So also those people, knowing to say there's that huge population, they need at least 10 boreholes as well.
Yeah.
So let this be extended across the country, not only Lusaka. Also, Western Province, people of Mandanga need 10 boreholes. People of Kashumba there need 10 boreholes. People of Mweke need 10 boreholes. You know, people of Kasima need 10 boreholes. Let it also be extended to Northwestern Province. Kiawama, they also need 10 boreholes.
Right, I just hope the minister is watching to and will respond accordingly.
He has to. Let it also be extended to Copper Belt.
Right.
Yes.
But it is 8:52 and we should be winding up.
We should be winding up. Let's go in with this last story here before we come back and read some of the text messages. The Lusaka Magistrate Court has issued former Minister of Defense Geoffrey Mwamba Bwaria, GBM, with a bench warrant of arrest for absconding a court session. Now, this is in a matter in which the former cabinet minister is charged with failure to declare interest, money laundering, and being in possession of property suspected to be proceeds of crime. We go on this particular story. When we come back, we are wrapping up and also reading what you, the viewer, is expressing on our Facebook page. Please do stay tuned.
Former Defense Minister Geoffrey Mwamba, popularly known as GBM, has been placed on bench warrant of arrest for absconding from a court session in a matter he is charged with failure to declare interest, money laundering, having property suspected to be proceeds of crime, among others. Lusaka Magistrate Sanford Ngobola issued the bench warrant against GBM after he failed to attend the court session on the basis that he is sick and the bench warrant is returnable Thursday. Mr. Mwamba, who is on his defense in the matter, is charged with 24 counts of failure to declare interest and having property suspected to be proceeds of crime, is facing 8 counts of conflict of interest, 1 count of money laundering, and 15 counts of having property suspected to be proceeds of crime. Shortly after the bench warrant was issued, Mr. Mwamba took to his Facebook page expressing displeasure that the court issued a bench warrant after denying him a permit to seek medical attention in South Africa and alleging that doing so locally is also the case. Meanwhile, in another matter, fire continues to mount on opposition Economic and Equity Party President Chilofya Tayali, as the third court has issued a bench warrant of arrest against him for missing court sessions in a matter he is charged with 1 count of influencing soldiers to rise against the government. Tayali, who is on red notice, is appearing in 3 different courts at the Lusaka Magistrate Court, and the latest to issue a warrant of arrest is Magistrate Kelvin Nsoma. Tayali is alleged to have informed the soldiers via Facebook that their 50% allowances, which were supposed to be given to them as allowances for the United Nations mission operations, were allegedly being eaten by their superiors. After hearing evidence in the matter, Magistrate Nsoma found Tayali with a case to answer and was placed on his defense. Instead of opening his defense, the opposition leader decided to stop attending court without giving any reasons, while posting on his Facebook page that he was out of the country. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Okay, EPP leader there, Chilofya Tayali, and also former Defense Minister Geoffrey Mwamba Bwaria, popularly known as GBM, bench warrants have been issued to have them arrested. However, the Defense Minister, as of yesterday, images in that particular story, you're able to see that he is hospitalized, and some images that flooded social media yesterday, Mwango, suggested that the man, he's actually in hospital. We saw a prominent lawyer, Lusaka lawyer, counsel, Kelvin Bwaria Fube, probably known as KBF, paying him a visit yesterday evening at a named hospital. Yes. Then, earlier in the day, images emerged on social media as well, depicting the EPP leader, Chilofya Tayali, at a place which many people interpreted that it is Australia. Yes, many people interpreted that according to going by the images that were behind him. that he is.
We can only speculate.
We can only speculate.
I've never been to Australia. Maybe you have been. I can only speculate.
To Australia, even though we have prominent symbols that we can relate to Australia, but there's what is known as Photoshop nowadays. There's AI.
Anything is possible.
Anything is possible. So that we can only say that images were flashed on the on
purportedly from Australia.
Purportedly from Australia. So there you have it, Mwango. These are some of the stories that we had for our viewers. But before we go, sentiments were issued targeted against media owners, and you know, the News Diggers did a story yesterday, and there's a part 2 in the News Diggers today regarding the response to those sentiments that were made.
The editorial comment.
Yes, the editorial comment. But my concern is, if you ask media owners, I feel for them. I feel for them. We're in the private sector. I feel for them because it's not cheap to run a media house.
Sure.
It's very expensive.
Very expensive.
It's very expensive to run a media house, and for somebody who knows what goes on to have issued those sentiments, for me, I was utterly disappointed. For lack of a better word, I was very disappointed. You know the conditions that the media houses go through. Okay, somebody will say, why are you not talking on behalf of your fellow journalists and begin to maybe advocate for this or that? Look, government is the largest employer, number one. 2, government is the one that is supposed to make the private medias to thrive in this country.
All right.
Media houses. I've had a privilege to attend some of these meetings where media owners are called and you are in attendance. Mwango, we are going. You are in attendance. You remember when COVID-19 came through?
Right.
Do you know why certain media houses were even closed? Because of refusing to carry adverts on behalf of government for free. They said, 2016, we did the elections. We covered the elections. We are still not paid as media owners. We're still, these are the things, these are the matters that government is supposed to be addressing. Media owners were not, up to now, I don't even know whether they're still paid. From 2016, when they carried the elections, when they covered the elections process, they were not paid. So they were saying, no, we can't carry COVID-19 messages for free again. At least give us a little something to cushion our costs. That blew out of proportion. People took it differently. Emotions were raised. I was there at government complex. Not that somebody told me. I was in attendance. Tempers rose. And we know what happened after that. A media house was closed. Some media houses were intimidated and the like. Fast forward. Sentiments are coming through to say media owners are selfish. How? Are you giving them business so that they can pay their employees hefty salaries?
As he put it.
Yes. Are you giving them business? Are you giving them adverts? A media house thrives on adverts. So yes. Are you giving them that to say, we've brought this advert, run it for 5 days, we're going to give you 5 million as a media house? If that can happen before the end of the month, I'll be driving a BMW parked outside. Benz. You'll be driving a Mercedes Benz, sir. Our boss upstairs will be driving a Rolls Royce. We need to go. Mango, we need to go.
Unfortunately, we've come to the end of this edition of the Camnet TV Breakfast Show. Amazing debate we've had concerning some of the issues pertaining to matters of national interest. I thank you to everybody that was able to come through via our Facebook page, Camnet TV, and share their comments regarding what is happening on the ground. We do appreciate you. We do not take you for granted. Be sure to catch us tomorrow at the same time within the hour of 7, and of course you should be able to come through again and share your views and equally call in if you may. From me, Chanda Mwango, your host, it's a good morning and have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your day. And from my colleague Joe Simata, we are saying bye-bye.
And God bless.